I would say a small percentage of people don't appreciate the values that the American democracy offers, or they don't care to. And that'll be the one thing that destroys us.
Yeah.
Because we're here trying to build a great life for us, for our kids, generations to come, right? And then you got this small group of people, and I think it's going to be like that as well for us. You're going to have a small group of people that are just not happy with however things are, or they're just never going to be happy in life in general. So they gotta, well, I'm not happy, so I'm gonna make somebody unhappy as well. Yeah.
All right, so what are the name of these shoes?
These are the Jordan 4 Off-Whites. It was probably one of the last shoes that Virgil Abloh kind of did before, his passing or whatever. So,
were you a fan of his?
Yeah, it was kind of creative. Some of the stuff that he's done. He actually a smart business guy because he sold off everything as far as his business, but kept the intellectual property of it, and it helped out his family a lot because they were able to profit off of his company before his passing. So, yeah.
What does it mean to be a dream shoe?
Something that you're just attracted to, that you love. For some people, it's more like something that they probably will never get a chance to get their hands on. For me, fortunately, I'm able to, mostly any sneaker that I want, I can get without having to pay a whole lot of money for it.
Really? We got some plugs?
No, I mean, I collect. I don't collect shoes, but I used to sell them when it was at a profitable point. Now everything is just kind of there, so it's not all that profitable anymore.
What was it like being a part of the shoe selling community?
For me, it wasn't all that bad because I got all my stuff. I get my stuff online. I don't go to the stores. I don't go to the stores. I don't stand in lines. I haven't stood in a line in a long time. It's probably been since my early 20s, maybe. So.
Did you have to build a relationship with the stores for that?
No, I mean, as long as you got money, that's all they care about. It's not really, relationships or anything like that. I mean, they can pull up your account and see how much money you spent there, so it's not. And then, most of the companies that are in the U.S. now, they're not really in the U.S. anymore. Like they're moving overseas because they realize that it's not often that profitable here anymore. Anyways, most of the fashion community is in another country like the UK or the Asian countries, Japan, China, things like that, places like that. So
yeah. So this market's been maxed out when it comes to sneakers.
Yeah, I would say so. Like some of the shoes that you think that would sell for a lot of money do not sell for those amounts anymore. So,
do you think the pandemic and the over-releasing of sneakers really affected the market?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that and it's probably time for a new company to kind of step up and design new shoes and figure something else out. It's not innovation anymore. It's Nike and Adidas have been around for a long time. Now they're just releasing the stuff that they released 30, 40 years ago, hoping it has the same effect
Yeah.
like it once did. I mean, some of them do, but not all of them. You know.
Do you think there's been too much copy and paste when it comes to newer designs that have come out?
Oh
from those
yeah, I
brands?
mean a lot of the older styles, they kind of like tweaked it here, tweaked it there, put two shoes together or two sneakers together. It's not there's really no innovation anymore. It's not I think we've kind of hit a cap as far as like innovation is concerned. So guys are just doing whatever they can to make some money at this point. So,
Do you think companies have become unwilling to take risk when it
Yeah.
comes to newer design from the average person compared to what the company is designing?
well, it's you know what, it's entirely. I don't think the companies are scared of trying to figure things out as far as like building innovation. It's just there's really nobody out there that really stands out anymore. It's just everything looks funny anyways. Fashion kind of like took a turn for the worse. Everybody's wearing anything. There's no what's the word I'm looking for? There's no standard. Really, if you're wearing something expensive, that's what people care about. It's not more so something that looks good. It's more so, oh man, that's a $2,000 shirt or $5,000 jacket or a $10,000 watch or $100,000 watch, whatever the case may be. So it's really not it's not really a style sort of thing or fashion sort of thing anymore. It's about competition, how expensive, how much money you got. That's where we're at.
Would you say that's an American thing or is that a world thing in general?
It's more so of an American thing, because anywhere else you go to, it's whatever. I understand, a lot of American companies were built on making money. So, and we're probably one of the, I want to say, top 20 countries in the world as far as like, I mean, we're top 5 obviously as far as money, or the life that we live, but as far as like innovation or schools and whatever else, we're probably in the lower 20.
Yeah, bottom. Bottom.
Yeah.
Like when America stopped caring about school shootings and taking it seriously, that was one of the other steps towards education going down.
I don't want to say school shootings are that they don't care about. It's just it's so unpredictable. Sometimes democracy does hurt us because people have rights, right? We have freedom.
Yeah.
I just think that guns aren't really, if we just think of all the other countries, right? Everybody's poor, everybody's happy.
Yeah.
You have a little crime here and there, but everybody's relatively happy, right? You can't be happy all the time, obviously, but you're happy most of the time. As far as us, man, we work a lot. That's the issue.
Yeah.
Gun violence doesn't need to be there, but it's there because of the liberties that we have as Americans.
Yeah.
Right? Let's say all right, well, what do you need a gun for? You have to start vetting people or you can say, look, here's a max cap of how much you can own legally as a a household or family or whatever else, right? I don't want to say you want to attract people, but sometimes we have to be, I don't want to say controlled either, but you have to have control of people for us to have the liberties that we do have. Because if not, this is what you get. You get guys you got 15, 16-year-old kids coming to school with a gun or semi-automatic or automatic weapon, right? Where's this coming from? It's coming from a parent.
Yeah.
And these are the people that have some issues, have had some issues in the past that we don't keep track of and we don't take seriously, and that's how things get out of hand. And that's how the violence kind of build, or kind of go from generation to generation to generation, because we don't keep track of these folks, or we don't figure out a way to kind of like keep track of them, to not run into the issues that we run into as far as like, gun violence.
Yeah. And then we also have the mentality as a community that somebody else will deal with it eventually.
Yeah, the people that can do something sometimes don't have the means to do it or don't have the connections to do it.
Yeah.
You can have some of the smartest people aren't always put into the spotlight. They're hiding behind somewhere because this is the way the world works. Right? It's like, unless money runs the world. Money is also the root of all evil, right? But if you don't have the means to do it, things aren't going to get done, right? You think about Elon Musk, or you think about Jeff Bezos, right? They got $1 million yachts, they got crazy house or 1 million properties, whatever the case may be, right?
Yeah.
Now they're talking about space travel. We haven't even explored the depths of our planet yet, right? But we're talking about going into space. We're talking about, all right, well, the future is in space somewhere. You can live in space. You can buy a timeshare in space, whatever else, right? To me, that's kind of dumb.
And all you hear is a business too.
Right.
Yeah.
So, ultimately it's about making money, status. 50 years from now, 100 years from now, are we really going to remember Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk? No. Nobody's going to care, because all they were is like a bunch of guys that made some money. That's about it.
Yeah.
They haven't done anything to progress us as a people. And that's to anybody that's really... Mostly anyone that's really rich or have a lot of money, they have status. 50 years from now, what are we going to remember for?
Yeah.
What are we going to remember them for? They'll be dead in a grave somewhere. All we're going to remember is, oh, that guy had some money. That's about it.
Yeah.
He's done nothing.
Yeah. I wonder how much longer they have lease on LifeWise.
Jeff Bezos.
Right now, right?
Yeah, Jeff Bezos. Both of them, I think Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are in their 50s. If they can help it, they'll probably live another 30 years.
Yeah.
Health-wise. But nobody can predict the future. They might croak tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or they might die tomorrow.
And we're not wishing that. It's just that's how life works.
That's how life works, man. You can be the healthiest person. And
it's still, when it's your time, it's your time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can keep scrubbing.
Oh.
You got to scrub the shoe, keep them interested.
I think I'm gonna go to the other shoe now. I think I've scrubbed this as much as I could. Oh man. Yeah, I don't really often clean my shoe. I try to keep them in decent shape, but for me, man, it's just these are material things. They are material things that I enjoy, that I like. I don't know. It's just, to me, it's not important. It's not a big deal to keep them clean or what have you. it'd be nice to be able to keep them clean and have them stay clean, but that's not the case. And I don't want to for me, I don't want to spend my time really on my day. All right, now I got to clean my shoes. Then it just becomes a chore.
What things are important to you?
Me personally, to be able to enjoy life, man. Traveling, see different places, explore different things, see different people. I wish I had the money to kind of do that all the time, but that's not the case.
Yeah.
And this is what it is. Yeah, but that's what's important, man, for me. Just living a quiet life, being able to enjoy traveling, seeing different things. Other than that, I don't really care for too much else. Not politics, not really anything that's political,
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes, I get asked about, politics, the world, and how it runs. But I don't really care to really dig deep into it because it's not doing anything for me.
Yeah.
People say, oh, you should care because it affects your life. Nah, not really. Unless somebody goes crazy and we end up being, a country where there's a dictatorship, but that's not the case. We're a democracy. So I don't foresee. It's interesting to see other places and how they're run, but of course, our foundation is a democracy, so we're not built like a lot of countries.
Yeah.
So life's good.
Would you say we over-exaggerate certain things like the Big Brother concept and the direction the government that's moving, or we're pretty spot on?
I don't know, man. For me, the government is what it is. There has to be some sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Is some sort of order in a chaos, right? So we're probably a lot better off than a lot of places that either I've visited or I've seen on TV or I've done research on.
Yeah.
So you're never going to get the best of everything. So you get what you get. Either you enjoy it or you don't.
Yeah, that's the trade-offs.
There could be a lot worse places that you could be in than just being here and worrying about first world problems. So, yeah, I mean, the government is what it is. I don't dig too much into it.
Yeah.
For me, like I said, it doesn't affect my everyday life personally. For some people, or for most people, it does, unfortunately. But for me, it doesn't really affect me too much. So.
So let's talk about the obsession with pool and pool tables.
Okay.
Tell me about pool.
I don't know. I mean, I played pool when I was a kid. Every time that I went back home to Vietnam, I visited, a pool hall, pool table, pool lounge with, my uncles. But I haven't played pool since 2016. So it's interesting because, the math that goes on in your mind for you to be able to get your body to do what you want, to spin the ball the way you want with a cue stick, cue ball, spin it the way you want, to get a ball to a place that you want and into a hole that you want, and to be able to, it's sort of like chess, to be able to kind of figure out your next few moves to end the game, ultimately. So it's interesting. I mean, I wouldn't say it's an obsession. It's a hobby.
What's the difference between an obsession and a hobby?
An obsession is something that you probably can't really get rid of. It's something that you're glued to, that you can't go without doing it like daily or every day. It's something that you think about all the time. Hobby is something you enjoy. It's not really something that really controls you. You do it when you want at your leisure. So for me, that's what it is.
What are the pros and cons of pool?
I wouldn't say there's really any con. There's a lot of pros. It's a lot of strategy, a lot of thinking. You really don't know it, but you are doing it. I mean, you are strategizing about the next guy. There's really no con, I don't think, unless, gambling, I guess, would be a con to it. I've had guys say, "Hey, are you playing for money?" I was like, "Nah, I'm not playing for money, man. It's not, I want to enjoy the things I'm doing, not really, trying to profit off of it or trying to figure out a way to make money off of it." So, I mean, if you are trying to do it, if you are good at it, I'm not saying I'm bad, but I'm not going to a pool hall, every day, all day, and hoping I'd make some money, because then it just become a job. So
We actually had a falling out with one of our folks over that because they wanted to keep betting, and verbatim we told them, hey, if you can't enjoy the game without putting money on the table,
right,
this might not be a game for you. And you may be the reason that you have to keep going from place to place to place because you're looking for something else that's not here.
Yeah,
And we have not seen them since then. And it's a mutual person we know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, see, that's the thing. Me, like I said, traveling is the hobby, is something I enjoy. Same thing as pool. Anything that I enjoy, I want to continue to enjoy it. I don't want to stress over it. I don't want it to be, something that's has some sort of. It shouldn't be. What's the word I'm looking for? It shouldn't be something in your life where it controls you.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, obviously, we all have jobs, and we're supposed to work to make money. The human race, we have what's called a trade and barter system, right? So you trade something, get something in return, whether it be monetary value or whatever else, to continue to live. All right, well, you have a bag of potatoes. I have 10 pounds of meat. I'll give you 2 pounds of meat for half a bag of potato, or whatever the case may be. So now it's money. So we always depend on some sort of trade system for us to live. Without it, I don't think we're going to survive. Otherwise, we'd just be killing each other for things.
Yeah.
So for me, like I said, we all have jobs. Hopefully, it's not a job. It's something that you enjoy doing for the rest of your life or most of your life. That may keep you going until the end of your days, right?
Yeah.
But that's not the case for everyone. So I don't know. We can sit here and debate about stuff all day about, something you enjoy, job, money, whatever the case may be. Hopefully, as long as you enjoy whatever you're doing, it's not a job, but it's more so just, all right, I'm living my life.
Yeah.
This is what I have to do to be able to enjoy my life.
Yeah.
So,
What's the most interesting fact about the game of pool?
what's the most interesting fact? I don't know. When I play with, like, let's say, I get a chance to play Amir or whatever, right? We talk about things, whether it be, or even Brendan, we talk about life. I think that's the only interesting fact I can pull from pool, is that we build a connection with people and we talk about things. That's not pool related. So it's almost like a game of chess, right? You're sitting there or you're standing there, you're playing, you talk about things, whatever it may be. Hopefully it's an enjoyable conversation. I don't think I've ever had someone I knew that I was playing against that I've had a bad conversation with.
Yeah.
But there are some people that you kind of meet and you do play that gets riled up for no reason, right? It's, at the end of the day, it's just a game. Like I said, I'm not playing for money. So for me, I guess that's the interesting fact.
Would you say pool is a good measure of where people may be in life?
In a way, yes. I mean, pool, anything else, in a way, yes. It kind of like, as long as you're talking to them, or you can see their body language, or you can visually observe how they talk, their body language, you can probably tell at kind of a juncture or a level that they are in life at this point. But it's something you kind of have to talk to the person to figure that out. So
trick shots. You ever do any trick shots? I asked 'cause I feel like I usually see you be very uniform, but I'm like, nah. I feel like there's a history of I may have dabbled in some things.
I mean, it all depends on what you consider trick shots, right? It's a lot of people are very conventional on what they do as far as like shooting is concerned. For me, I try to kind of figure out a way to get a ball to a certain place. I guess you would call that a trick shot. I don't do it often, but if there's a need for it, I do it to get the ball to where I want it to go. So I do it sometimes. I don't do it often.
Yeah.
Am I good at it? Probably not. But if there's an angle that I can, if there's an angle that I can get it to get to the ball, or to get the ball to where I want it to go, yeah, I've done it. So I wouldn't say I'm super great at it, but I do it. So.
When it comes to the mental side of pool,
right?
How have you seen your approach in pool bleed over into real life?
So I've been I guess a competitive person most of my life, if not all of my life, right?
Yeah.
It's like anything in life, you want to be able to be good at it or be great at it. So you practice it, obviously. Sometimes, you're there a little bit longer than you should. I mean, I've had days where I've stayed 8-9 hours at a pool hall just to get better at it. And that's like anything in life. If you want to be great at your job, you got to spend time doing it. You want to be great at, some personal hobby, something that you enjoy doing, you have to practice. So, some people may think it's a waste of time, but if it's something that you enjoy, do what you want. It's and you kind of like over time, you kind of just drown out the crowd noise. So for me, that's like kind of the same way. I just try to block out the crowd noise, do what I want to enjoy doing, and not have issues. So.
When it comes to blocking out the noise, what does that process look like for you? Because I've seen you do it often.
For me, I just kind of figure out in my mind, figure out what the next steps are. You know, all right, well, if I want to do that, how do I get there? I don't know. Different people have different approaches to kind of blocking out the crowd noise, right? It's like, all right, you look at people, or you look at a crowd, then you get nervous. So you're not as good. So for me, I just concentrate on whatever it is that I'm looking at, or I'm looking forward to, and then it just comes natural. It just everything's blocked out.
Yeah.
So.
You could just keep scrubbing. I'm just going to record you scrubbing.
Okay.
Did you just peep something on your sneakers?
No, I mean, I just kind of noticed that it's kind of blotchy, but I've had these blots for a long time. These are like all water, like certain shoes you wear over time, and the material, the water gets into it, it stains it, and then the color just kind of
Becomes something different.
yeah.
How long have you had these for?
Man, it's been 4 or 5 years, I think, man. Let me see. These came out, about 20, I think somewhere, maybe October or November 2020. So I've had it for a while, 3 or 4 years, I want to say. 4 years at the max.
They look nice.
Yeah.
They look nice.
You know, people, man, shoot, I might wear these tonight when I go hang out. Yeah, normally this is just like my trip shoe, man. Like when I go out of town or go out of the country, this is what I wear.
Yeah.
But I don't really, like I said, I really don't have like shoe where I really clean every day.
How large is your shoe collection?
Probably about 80 pairs.
80 pairs.
It used to be a whole lot more, but I kind of, you know, I kind of stopped buying shoes a lot.
What brought in the transition away from buying shoes?
You know, just being able to, like, you know, you spend $200-$300 on a pair of shoes, right? Why not save that money for something more important in your personal life? I like shoes. I love shoes. Don't get me wrong. I'm a fan. I've been, you know, as far as I can remember, I've been a sneakerhead. But now I just want to be able to like travel and enjoy life more.
Yeah.
Plus, the more things that you accrue over time, you have an attachment to it, and it kind of keeps you in one place. It kind of almost like it kind of weighs you down as far as like the, you know, the physical material things. Because let's say, all right, well, I have a house in the city, right? I have all these memorabilia from years of collecting them. All right, now let's say I want to retire and live in Italy or something. Now I got to drag all this stuff on a plane, 10 hours.
Yeah.
Just to be able to keep it around.
Yeah.
A lot of people that enjoy traveling, they aren't really attached to material things because it's just kind of hard to get away, not have to worry about things. So
It also gets in the way of the trip itself and really experiencing things because you're worrying about what you don't have your hands or eyes on.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. I remember there was a trip that we went to in a country, man. I think our first night there, we stayed at Airbnb. We lost all these things. Matter of fact, it was in Colombia when I was there. Our first night, I don't know. Maybe it's a freak accident. Maybe it's some sort of coincidence. Maybe the guy does this as a job. but we lost all our belongings. Well, most actually just our important things like our computer, camera, whatever else the guy can physically get his hands on and walk away with. He got away with it. So, I mean, for me, I didn't really care. I did lose a camera that day. My friend lost a laptop, but it had all his work stuff on there. But for me, you know, the camera, I was cool with it. I had a lot of like pictures and stuff on there of my friends. And unfortunately, I think I lost that SD card. That was more important to me because, you know, pictures on there were pictures of my friends, things I've taken pictures of that I enjoy. And unfortunately, I lost it in that instance, but that was what was important to me instead of losing the camera itself.
You see what I'm working with.
Yeah, no, I see it, yeah.
That's really the bread and butter of anything.
Yeah, so like I said,
tough,
man, for me, like that night, I was just kind of cool, chilling. My friends were stressing over it, man, but for me, I didn't really care too much. As long as I was there, I was going to enjoy my time.
I think a similar experience, I had gotten robbed at gunpoint at one point. 2 guns on me, right? And a lot of folks like, oh my God, you know, did they get anything of value? And I was like, no, I still got my life. That's really just where my head went. It was like, you know, I could still reaccomplish and repurchase all the other things. And they really didn't get anything out of me that night because I was able to recover my phone and my magnetic wallet that had my cards and ID in it. But I was like, you know, my partner at the time, she was safely in the car as it was going down after I made the deposit. Okay. And I was like, you know, that could have been way worse.
Yeah.
Like once you take my life, that really takes away from me being able to create any new experiences.
Yeah.
Or like me with the people that I actually care about in my life. Yeah. So as long as I have that, I could always remake things, or I at least have access to memories that are important to me.
Right.
So I guess for the trip, that may have been the same thing for you, because it's like, you know, the worst version of that is them running up and getting done up.
Oh,
and being in another country for something like that happening, it's like, man, you never know how their law enforcement is going to handle things, or who knows who.
Right.
And you never want to be in that position.
Yeah. No, law enforcement there is, you know, it's, unfortunately, it's corrupt. I mean, the country's corrupt. You know, it's a poor country.
By design.
Yeah. It's overran by people that are, I mean, you know, anywhere you go, you got people that are greedy, right?
Yeah.
But for us, government is what sets us apart from a whole lot of other places that we go to and that we get a chance to see.
The price for freedom.
The price of freedom, yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have that. And a lot of people in this country, unfortunately, don't appreciate that. They don't, you know, this country has a rough history. But anywhere you go to, like I said, you can debate this with, you know, anybody. Mm-hmm. Over the course of time, the world, we had a rough start. Anywhere in the world, you had a rough start, whether it be the Muslims, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Africans, whatever place you can think of, there has been some sort of history of violence that has started, some sort of slavery, some sort of whatever instance. You can't isolate it to one group of people, because over time, you know, people have been enslaved or have been, I don't know, it has been pushed down, I want to say, right? So I don't want to isolate it to one group of people that we we think, I mean, here we had a rough start too because, whether it be Christopher Columbus or the English or England or Britain, whatever, right? They brought the Africans over from one place to another as a way of building up their lives, right? It's not like that anymore, I want to say, except in the Middle East. I think those guys over there they're just going to be at war for
a very long time.
As long as we can exist, right?
Yeah.
But here, we have like a mixture of people from everywhere, right now. So we should try to live in solidarity almost, right? We are fortunate. And a lot of people don't see it. A lot of people don't appreciate it. I don't want to say a lot of people because it's a lot of people, right? I would say a small percentage of people don't appreciate the values that the American democracy offers, or they don't care to. And that'll be the one thing that destroys us. Yeah. Because we're here trying to build a great life for us, for our kids, generations to come, right? And then you got this small group of people, and I think it's going to be like that as well for us. You're going to have a small group of people that are just not happy with however things are, or they're just never going to be happy in life in general. So they gotta, well, I'm not happy, so I'm going to make somebody unhappy as well. Yeah. And unfortunately, that's the case for us, but like I said, man, you just got to kind of like try to live your life as best as you can, drown out the crowd noise. Yeah. Live your life.
Yeah. Do you ever clean the bottom of your sneakers or no?
No, I don't.
Would you ever want to have a nice big brush if you ever want to go to town? The bottom of your sneakers.
The thing is, like, if I wear it today, I mean, if you want me to do it, I do it.
I mean, you could do it. The whole table is built for this.
Yeah, I didn't really want to,
It's really, I gave you a towel. Like, that's the whole point. You can just put the towel down.
Yeah.
Yeah, just lay it right on the table.
All right. Yeah, I'm really not a big fan of like I said, spending time cleaning my sneakers.
Mm-hmm. But you're on a show that you spend time cleaning your sneakers, so it's like,
Yeah.
If you're gonna do it, might as well take it all the way.
Yeah, you're right. I guess you're right. Yeah, I kind of had some wear on my shoes, but it's kind of light. It's not.
I mean, you take care of your shoes a lot better than the average person.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, I have to switch out my shoes every 9 months because of my weight. Right? And that's not just because I train in terms of weightlifting and everything else. I'm just heavy. When you're heavy in general, and the material that they've used in these sneakers are not the same material of old.
Right.
Your thing's going to be folding and leaning. And you also change the scope of the shape inside of the shoe. I tell my dad this all the time. It's like, hey, he's like 68 now, and he still plays tennis. He has a couple of slipped discs. I'm like, look, you're gonna need to, yeah, and he's quick too, quick and explosive, right? Like, he's built like me, lighter of course, but built like me. I'm a little bit taller, a little bit on the heavier side. And I'm more the stronger one in the weight room, but this man is literally a killer, right? So both my mom and dad, they were both ex-cops from Jamaica, right? Back in the day. So I come from a very militant family that didn't want me to do any military service. And I was like, hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate that I have the freedom to make a choice of if I really want to do it. And if I don't, I'm going to mind my business and keep it moving.
Right.
But what I've come to notice about them is they do such a piss poor job of taking care of their actual bodies. Because they have the workers mentality. I come from a very blue collar. You clock in, you do what you need to do, you clock out. Right? If you want to complain, sure, your complaint's valid, but did you get the work done And also, hey, are you leveraging out what you need to leverage? Like if you're complaining about something, what's your leverage to get it changed?
Right.
And if you don't have leverage, why aren't you working on the leverage to get out of there? They didn't teach me that, but I've looked at what they have not done and said, oh, I need leverage and I need to figure out what it looks like and I need to be aware of when it happens. So I told them, hey, you guys need to start changing out your sneakers. You need to start taking care of yourself. The shoes that you bought, you shouldn't be keeping or holding on to shoes for a year.
Damn.
I was like, if you do hold on to shoes for a year, if I need to buy you the shoes as a replacement, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
If you want to have, like, don't get me wrong, the shoes that you slide on and just go sweep the yard or do some gardening, that's fine. But your everyday use shoe should never start changing shape and you be okay with that. Because those things do start affecting you in life eventually.
Yeah.
That's why folks like us, we change out the soles. Like, hey, something's going wrong, but I still like this thing. I need to change out the sole. You know, or you find someone who could reshape the inside of it back to what it used to be.
Yeah.
And see, hey, is your body still okay with that? Because sometimes you'll mess around and buy a replacement pair and realize, oh, my foot is no longer conditioned to be whatever this used to be when I first had it because where I am now.
Right. Yeah, man, you know, I think the oldest pair of shoes I have is about 20-something odd years old. I mean, it's about to be 20 years old.
That's some real history. That's some quality history right there.
Yeah, so I've had it for a long. Actually, man, some of those kicks, man, like.
Do you think they've aged well?
Yeah, like the Nike skateboarding dunks that I have, they age pretty well.
Used to be a boarder, or you just the sneakers?
Just sneakers. When I was young, I was kind of on the heavier side too. Not heavier, but you know, I played football, so I had to put on weight to play football.
Yeah.
So I mean, I did skateboard, but was I another? You know, oh, do I want to do this as a profession? Do I want to do this as some sort of career? No, I did it for fun. But I played football, so like I said, I had to put on weight, so doing tricks and stuff on the skateboard wasn't really my thing. Like I said, my oldest pair of sneakers is the Nike SB Dunks. They're about 20-something, 19. I think in a few months it'll be 20 years old. Yeah, it'll be 20 years old in a few weeks.
So is that 2004?
2004. Yeah, that's when the originally the Nike SB Dunks that it really started like going off.
Yeah, that was high school for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me too.
Yeah. 2007 was when I got out to go to college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a time to behold. Man, that was when I think like the Nike SB Dunks just really went off. People spending a whole lot of money on it, man.
Pharrell and the rest of them.
Yeah.
Lupe Fiasco.
Yeah. Yeah, so shoot, man, I got a couple pairs that are about to be 20 years old that I've held on. I mean, I've worn them over time. Huh?
What size are you?
8.5, 9.
Have you ever like looked at those pairs and be like, I could give them to someone that I'm cool with, or you kind of just like, well, they do have history that means something to me.
Yeah, you know, every pair of shoes that I've worn, they do have history. For me, they have history because I've taken them somewhere.
Yeah.
And worn them somewhere to go somewhere, like outside the country. You know, like for us, we gotta have clothes, right? So for every pair of sneakers that I've had, I look back and I'm like, oh yeah, this is where I went with them. So for me, that's the cool part, I guess.
I could definitely see me shooting a whole series on all your sneakers and you just telling the story of the sneaker.
Yeah, it's I do have a lot of sneakers that I've worn like lightly. I got 2 pairs of Jordan 1s, the Union LA Jordan 1s. Those were I went down to Brazil with. I was down in Rio with them. So yeah.
Were you there for what's that celebration that they have? That's like
Carnival.
almost a month long.
Carnival.
Yeah, my boy goes to that every other year. He tells me it's beautiful.
It's supposed to be in February, man.
Okay.
So It's I think the popular destination is Sao Paulo. That's where Carnival is supposed to be.
Okay.
So it's fun. I've never been there. I've heard it was crazy, an amazing time, man. It's fun.
Yeah.
So I've never been to. I've been to Rio. I haven't had a chance to go to Sao Paulo yet, but we'll see. But right now, my main priority as far as like vacation is concerned is trying to get to Japan, trying to get to Tokyo, or go back home to Vietnam. I hadn't been home in like eight years, almost 9 years now.
Sound like me with Jamaica.
Yeah. Yeah, I do want to go back. I want to go back to Paris. I want to go to a whole lot of places, man. It's just, like I said, you got to have money to do these sorts of things.
Have you always had the travel bug? Is that a bug, or what would you call it at this point in your life?
It's not a travel bug, man. You got to think, right? So I came to this country in '92.
Yeah.
What's it been? 32 years.
Yeah.
And in a snap of an instance, life goes like that.
Yeah. Marvel snap.
And now that you're an adult, it goes a lot faster. So I want to be able to go to all the places that I'll enjoy, that I know I'll enjoy when I'm young. I'm not going to be able to do much when you hit, 70 years old, 80 years old, and your body is just not holding up anymore.
I mean, unless you're one of those yoga people with the really good diets.
I'm
been
trying,
climbing
man.
Mountains, man. A lot of these, you ever see these videos where the young folks go to the mountain to go climb? You just got this one old guy with like just a little cane that's just passing them at like a ridiculous speed, and they're like, "How is he doing this?" Like, conditioning, you mean?
No, I'm trying, man. I'm trying to change my life around. I'm not change my life around, but just continue with
tweak some things here and there.
Yeah, tweak some things here and there in my life just to be able to make sure that my quality of life is a lot better when I get old. Because I've seen people, man, fall apart when they're older. So I don't want to be like that when I get old.
Has that ever been hard for you, watching them fall apart? Like, dang, used to have it. What happened?
Yeah, it's not. I don't want to say it's hard for me, but it's a learning experience because you see people like that, and you're like, I don't want to be like this when I get old.
Yeah.
So you just kind of do certain things in your life to make sure that, just like preventative measures, right? Just to make sure that your life is a lot better than what it's going to be. So. Can't predict the future, but like I said, you can always put in place certain things in your life where you can sort of prevent it or attempt to prevent it. But like I said, it's not something you can always predict. But
as someone that's working on the preventative side, how would you say you treat yourself compared to your dream shoe?
Well, what do you mean?
Like you said, you want to travel, you want to do it before your body breaks down. We just made jokes of, hey, what can we improve in the meantime?
Yeah.
When you look at what it costs to make this purchase and how you've treated your shoes now, how would you say you treat yourself in your own life?
Oh, man. You know what? It's hard because you want to experience a whole lot of things, right? You want to be able to try everything before your time, right? Because you probably never, any experience that you have, you're never going to experience it twice.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to enjoy it. And for me, to hopefully be able to do that and to prevent it from happening, let's say, all right, well, you got a guy that's either it's a hereditary issue, right? Let's say you're a diabetic and it runs in the family, and they're eating all these bad things and that they're not supposed to be eating. You're like, all right, well, obviously I'm not going to be doing that because that's going to screw me up.
Yeah.
So it's just, like I said, it's just, you see people just kind of like treat their bodies badly. not treat. I don't know if it's intentional. Some people, it may not be intentional. They just
Sometimes it's
unknowingly do
habitual.
it. Right? It's a habitual
Not
thing.
everyone is also willing to do research on what their body actually needs and what that looks like.
Right, and then you know, you don't. I'm not the type of people. I'm not the type of person that I don't judge people, right? But I have an opinion, and I want to be able to express that opinion, and that's why I don't have a lot of friends, because I have close knit friends, right? That I can kind of consider family. Not a lot of people know the profession that I'm in. It's not on social media. It's too much on so much social media, right? So my life is
of opinions and words.
yeah. So my life is not like that. So like the guys that I do know over time, I develop a relationship with them, and they kind of know what I do. But I kind of keep my profession sort of almost like a secret, because either people don't need to know it, or they don't really care to know it, or they just don't care. So for me, I love what I do and experience in life that not a lot of people get to do and be able to enjoy and see the things that they see. Not a lot of people can say, hey, I'm happy when I go to work, or I'm happy when I'm with the guys that I'm with. I'm happy that I'm spending all this time with them. You develop a bond with these people, like at work and then outside of work. So it's sort of like a family, and not a lot of jobs, especially these days, where you get a chance to develop that. So you want to be able to enjoy it. Other than that, man, my life's pretty quiet.
Would you prefer it that way?
I do prefer it that way. I don't care for the spotlight, man. It's not a big thing for me. You know, it's like a lot of people like, all right, well, I would like to be known or to be seen or to be whatever the case may be, or to have this attention on me. I don't care for it. As long as, you know, my life is quiet, I'm good with that. You know, as long as I'm happy, I'm good with that. Those are the main concerns in my life. Other than that, nothing else. I just want to be able to know that I'm happy doing what I'm doing in my day-to-day life. I'm good with that.
Have you reached that point? Do you meet that point every now and then?
I do meet that point very often, and that's more than a lot of people can say. Like I said, no one's going to be happy or at a point of bliss 24/7.
Yeah, that's actually dangerous. You need the lower ends of things to enjoy the higher ends of when you finally have it.
So it's life's good, man. Like I don't know. For me, life is good. It's hard to explain because it's not. I don't want to say I have the greatest life, right? But I have more than a lot of people, so I'm grateful for it. I've worked hard to reach this point in my life, so I do want to enjoy it as best as I can.
Yeah.
Every minute of the day, but are you going to be at that point where you're going to be happy every minute of the day? No. Like even right now, I'm laughing, I'm smiling. I'm thinking about maybe something stressful. Oh man.
You handle it quite well, man. From what I see, you handle it quite well.
Yeah.
And then you probably, I think, and correct me if I'm mistaken, you probably do a good job of adjusting to, well, is the thing I'm worried about that serious right now?
Yeah. I don't take things as, don't get me wrong. I don't want to say that I don't take things as seriously as other people, but I'm not going to stress over it.
Yeah.
Right? Because here's what you got to think. You came into this world with nothing, and you're going to leave with absolutely nothing. A whole lot of nothing, right? But you know what? I don't know. I'm not dead. I'm never going to experience till it happens.
Yeah.
But I would like to think the only things that I can take with me when I go is like all the memories of my life, hopefully, that I've got a chance to experience. Physically, can't really take anything else.
Yeah.
That's it, you know. You've seen kings buried in their tombs with fucking gold and, you know, whatever the case may be, queens. People, even, you know, regular people in their personal lives, you know, you put memorabilia here, you put things there. Realistically, you know, dust to dust, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, right?
Yeah.
You can't really take any of that stuff. So, I'm praying, and when the time does happen, that I'm able to take all the memories of my life with me. Other than that, I'm not hoping for much else. This is the day in my shoes.